Hello there, everybody. I'm Mel Allen, and this is Baseball Collector.
Yo and hello everybody, Mike here, Baseball Collector, and it's Friday. The weekend is here. It's US Open weekend for golf, which should be pretty terrific. It's also Father's Day this weekend, and that's pretty cool too. And it's kind of ironic. Some things have kind of happened and come together where this is going to be a pretty perfectly timed video. I got some mail in today that I'm going to show off, and it's relevant to the topic of this video. This is going to be a response for Dustin Bellinger, who is a YouTuber celebrating 400 subscribers, and Dustin recently lost his dad, and so he wanted his response videos to be something where we talk about either our dad or someone that's been influential in our life. And for me, talking about my dad is a fun thing to talk about, and I know it's not for everybody, but that's not true for me. I have not had that experience. I've been blessed to have just an absolutely amazing relationship with my dad. It hasn't always been that way, but certainly in my adult life, my dad has become a very, very close friend of mine, and someone that I love and respect very, very much. And even as a kid, he was a great dad. But when I think about the Mount Rushmore of men that have influenced my life, my dad is absolutely on it and would be the head of it. If Mount Rushmore had tiers, it doesn't. They're all in line, but my dad is definitely on that as one of the four men most influential in my life and over the course of my life, and will always be that way no matter what going forward. And I've written some notes because I want to make sure if I get too emotional talking about this, that I kind of stay on track to keep the video reasonable. I'm only going to show one card, so if you're here to watch cards, you might be a little disappointed, but this is just me talking about my dad and what he's done for my life. So my dad, he spent his entire career in television production. And so when I was a kid, during the day, he worked for a local television station, and he was an engineer for them. And then on nights and weekends, he moonlighted as a cameraman for all types of sporting events here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, which was just unbelievably cool because I got to grow up tagging along and going to Rangers games and Cowboys and Mavericks and Stars, and just getting to kind of tag along and be a part of it. Sometimes I even worked and got paid, which was a bonus. I've told some stories about that in previous videos, about that being such a huge deal in my youth because I was such a huge sports fan, and he knew that, so he took me and my brother along as much as he could, and sometimes my sister. But and then as an adult, when I became an adult, my dad switched jobs to where he was in charge of a television truck, that a mobile TV station basically that goes around televising sporting events all over the country, and he was the engineer in charge of the truck. And so wherever that truck went around the country, he was there. So he was gone all the time. And I was an adult, married, having kids, raising a family, all that kind of stuff then. But what it allowed me to do is he'd be gone for weeks or months at a time, and I would go on the road. I'd fly somewhere and meet him, because he was doing mostly baseball, so that was really cool, all throughout the spring and summer and fall. And you do some football and basketball and stuff, but it was mainly baseball where I got to go to different cities, different ballparks, and hang out with my dad. It was like this perfect confluence of things, like hang out with my dad, go to ballparks, see new stadiums, see new cities, all of that stuff. And I got to stay with him in a hotel, so it was a very cost-efficient way to travel to all these places. I wasn't spending a lot of my own money just because I'd use a lot of miles and things to make that happen. And so that was just so much fun, and I really treasure those trips and those memories of doing that with my dad. Just went all over the place and had so much fun doing that. When I think about my dad, I think about different things that I've kind of either observed, admired, or in some cases inherited from my dad. And one of the things that I've always admired and observed in him is an incredible work ethic. My dad works really hard. Julie was trying to close the door and it didn't work. So the other thing that my dad has shown me over the years is how to love your wife. And I've always been told the best gift you can give your kids is to love their mom. And that rings true certainly in my house, or the way I grew up and the way I still see it today. They've been married 50 years, and it's a pretty special deal to watch. My dad is incredibly generous with his time, his knowledge, his all sorts of stuff. He's just incredibly generous. He is got the totally cheesiest sense of humor you've ever seen in your life, and it's actually just comical because, here's an example. So my dad will be at a party or something, or at dinner with a bunch of people, and he'll bend over and be like, and he'll say, "Oh, my nutsack," and everybody, of course, goes, "Oh my gosh, Palmer." My dad's name's Palmer. "Palmer, did you just say that out loud?" And he'll reach in and he'll pull out a Planters peanuts sack, and he's like, "I crushed my nutsack," and just stuff like that he does all the time. And I hear it all the time, and even though I kind of groan and my ribs, I've heard it 1,000 times, and yet it's one of the funniest things about him is he has a great sense of humor. And also, one thing I definitely inherited from him is this OCD collector gene. And he is a collector too. He doesn't collect anything sports related. He collects tools and has an incredible workshop. And I've gotten to spend some time with him there. We built the Beast. And when I say we built the Beast, I really mean he built it, and I just did some of the grunt work and labor. He's the brains behind it for sure. I mean, my dad is probably the smartest guy I've ever met, and he's just a great problem solver and thinker, and sometimes it's annoying because he overthinks things, but overall, man, he comes up with all these great ideas, and he's really the brains behind the Beast back there. Again, I just got to kind of hold stuff and do certain things when I know I wouldn't screw it up. So but I did get this collector gene from him, and I'm actually grateful for it. It's because I love this hobby and I love sports and all this stuff, and so it really all fits together really well. So let me show you the card that I'm going to show you, and then I'll start telling some stories. So this is a card that I got back today from Joey Brings It. Joey from Joey Brings It. He had done a contest several months ago where I won a free submission to PSA, and one of the cards that I sent him to get authenticated was this one right here. And what this is a 1954 Bowman Phil Rizzuto, and the card's a 3 and the auto's an 8, and it's signed there in beautiful blue ink. Actually, I think it's better than an 8 for the signature, but PSA didn't ask me. And so this card, what makes this card so special is my dad got it when I was a kid. He went to some card shop and bought a 1954 Phil Rizzuto, and because he was working the Rangers game, or the Rangers series, and Phil Rizzuto used to be one of their announcer guys, and he had Phil Rizzuto sign it, which is just, and then he gave it to me. So the fact that he would encourage my hobby, unbeknownst to him what it would turn into, is just fantastic. And he did that a lot. I have a video about an entire baseball that he had taken around with him and gotten signed. It's just called The Ball. So if you want to go look at that, you can check that out. I've talked about that a couple times on videos. And so this card is it's incredibly special to me. I wouldn't sell it for anything because my dad got it for me, and I just wanted to get it slabbed really just to protect it more than anything, not because I was worried about the autograph not being real or anything like that. That was hardly the case, and it's just beautiful. It's a great card too. I mean, 54 Bowman. So that's the kind of guy my dad is. He would do things like that on occasion. and just really meant the world to me. And he didn't even know how much it was meaning to me, not only then necessarily, but certainly today. And it's kind of funny. My dad is funny but can be gruff and certainly strict on us as kids, and not in a bad way. I deserved every spanking I got, which wasn't very many, but you think it was a lot when you were a kid, but I deserved every one of them, probably a lot more. He showed me a lot more grace than I deserved, probably as a young man. But no matter how many times I talked to my dad or how often I talked to my dad, every time I talked to him, he finishes the phone call with, "I love you." And that, I can talk to him and then have to call him right back because I forgot to tell him something. And even after that, if I talk to him for 10 seconds, he'll say, "I love you." And that really matters. That's a big deal. Those are 3 words that when a dad tells his son, it doesn't matter when you say it, how you say it, or it matters how you say it, but I mean, just saying, it matters to them that they hear that. And so I do that to my kids every time. And another thing my dad does is he'll answer the phone pretty much no matter what he's doing. If I call him or any of his kids call him, and I've made that a point. If Julie or my kids call me, I don't care what I'm doing, I'm going to answer the phone. And it may be, "Hey, can I call you right back? I'm in the middle of a meeting," or whatever. Is everything okay? Yes. And then I call him back, but I'll answer the phone. And my dad always does that, and he modeled that for us. I thought that was really cool. And I guess when I think about a theme in my life with my dad, it's no matter how, I'm 45 years old, and whether I'm 45 or 65 or 85, no matter how old I get, I will always be doing things in a way that I hope, in every aspect of my life, doing things in a way that I hope my dad says, "I'm proud of you, son." And those are other, besides "I love you," "I'm proud of you" is also the most important thing a dad can tell his son. And I don't want him to tell it to me if he's not. I don't want him to say that if I haven't earned him telling me that he's proud of me. I need him to be honest with me and tell me the truth too. And so, but when I've earned that, comment of him saying he's proud of me, it's doesn't matter how old I am, it never gets old hearing that. And I always strive to try to have him feel that way about me. And, even about my YouTube channel, like that he's proud of me and the way I conduct myself here and what I do here and being a part of this community and all that. I mean, he watches, at the beginning, he watched almost every video, and now I think he just watches occasionally every once in a while. And I think he thinks it's cool what I do. He has his own YouTube channel actually too, where he does tools and stuff. He doesn't post very often at all, but so I'm going to test this theory. So this is really going to suck if he doesn't answer his phone, but we're going to call my dad right now on the phone. And since it's Father's Day weekend, I just want to tell him how much I love him and how much I appreciate him, and try not to get too cheesy here. Let's see, let me turn this up. Hopefully y'all can hear this. Will he answer?
Moynihan World Headquarters, Woodworking Department. How may I help you?
Yes, this is your son department.
Uh-huh.
What are you doing?
I'm sitting here talking to Clyde George.
Ah, good old Clyde. Well, I am shooting a video right now, and it's kind of a video dedicated to you for Father's Day weekend. And so...
No kidding?
No kidding. So...
You want me to watch it?
If you want to, you can watch it. But I'm recording it right now, and I'm just wanted to tell you how much I love you, how much you mean to me, and how much you've been a great part of my life. Are we on
right now?
We are on right now. We're recording.
If I wave my hand, are you FaceTiming me in?
No, I'm not FaceTiming you in. I'm recording it, and you're on the phone.
Good.
So.
Then you don't know how many fingers I'm holding up, do you?
I don't.
Okay.
I told him all about your nutsack joke.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Good to know about Palmer's nutsack.
Yeah, everybody wants to know about your nutsack, but.
Okay.
Well, thanks, Dad, for being a great dad, and I love you very much. So,
it easy.
all right.
Okay.
All
Bye-bye.
right. Bye. Okay, so there you go. There's my dad. He did answer his phone, and he means a lot to me. And I hope you guys feel the same way about your parents, your dads especially. And don't forget to tell them that. So, I hope everybody has a great weekend and keep collecting. Talk to you later.